In this Roblox Studio tutorial, I am getting started on the Rebirth system. For our tapping simulator game, we are going to need a GUI for the rebirths, so we have some buttons to click. So let's get into that right now. If you are not sure what a Rebirth GUI is, here is Tapping Simulators 1. So we are going to do something like this. See how when you click on the buttons, it takes away your clicks and adds to your rebirths. First, let me just clean up a bit. We don't actually need a Rebirth GUI on the left here. Instead, the rebirths count will show in leader stats. I'm just going to delete this one. Click the plus sign next to Starter GUI, and choose to add a new screen GUI. Rename it to Rebirth GUI. Next to this Rebirth GUI, click the plus sign and add a frame. To center this on the screen, follow this. Set the anchor point to 0.5 for both X and Y. Change the position to 0.5 for both X and Y. Now my clicker looks off-center, so let's fix this as well. I'm just going to select the button, and use the same settings for anchor point and position. There, that's better. This is how you center a GUI correctly, so that it displays in the center on all devices. Okay, let's go back to our Rebirth GUI. Select the frame, and let's resize it and set this up to look good. You want to use scale for your sizes when you can, because that will allow you to make GUI scale depending on the screen size. I used 0.3 for the x-axis and 0.35 for the y-axis. Change the background color to suit your styles. Here I chose blue for mine. I want some nice round corners. Here's how to do that. Add a UI corner like this. Okay, inside this frame we need to add a scrolling frame, which is a special frame that allows us to have a scroll bar for the user. Click the plus sign next to the frame, and search for scrolling frame like this. Select the scrolling frame, and make these changes down in the properties. Set the offsets to 0, and set X to 1. And set Y to 1 as well. Scroll to position, and make these changes to the Y-axis. Set the Y-axis position to 0.3. And change its size to 0.7. This will keep it within the scrolling frame. That's looking good, so the scrolling frame will contain our rebirth buttons. And the top area will have a counter for rebirths. Let's change the background of the scrolling frame. I am just going to select a slightly darker blue, so that it blends in. Change the border size pixel to 0. Okay, we need to add a few text labels to this and a button to click for the rebirths. Click on Frame and add a new text label. In the properties of the text label, make these changes. Oops, make sure you select the text label. Change the text to rebirths. 0. This text we will replace with our script. Under size, remove the offset values and change X to 1. Change background transparency to 1. Change the text color to white. Tick the scaled text, as this scales it for different screen sizes. You can check how it looks on other screen sizes, and make more adjustments yourself. The text is still a little bit big. I'm going to reduce the y-axis size of the text label to try and fix that. Remove the offset and add 0.14 to the y-axis, or just lay with these values until you get it right for your game. Remove the offset and add 0.14 to the y-axis. Or just play with these values until you get it right for your game. You can change the font style if you like. Let's duplicate this text label, so that we can keep the exact same values. Right-click and duplicate it. I'm going to rename it to Rebirths. And the other text label, I can just leave as is. Move this into position, select the text label and change the Y position to 0.14. I want to make this text a little bit smaller. So change the size scale to 0.08. Now, to bring it down a bit, just change the position a little bit. I used 0.18 for the Y position here. Change the text to something like Rebirth to increase the bonus of your clicks. Okay, it's looking good. Maybe we can add some padding to the edges, by reducing the position and size. With the text label selected, change the X scale to 0.05. And under the size property of the text label, change this X scale to 0.9. And there we go. That's the Rebirth GUI almost completed. So we just need to add a button to this, which will go inside the scrolling frame. Okay, let's do that quickly now. And then in the next video, we can add a script to make this work with our clicker. Click the plus sign next to the scrolling frame and add a text button. Call it Rebirth button. Follow along and make these changes to the button. I am just going to speed up the video a little bit.
To protect your soul.
Okay, good job, keep going. Change the background color, text and text size. Okay, that's the button completed. With our script, we will show this button when the player can rebirth. If they can't rebirth, we need to deactivate this button and show a text label instead. So let's quickly make the text label, and that's this video completed. Add a new text label, and follow along again. Watch the properties section as I make the changes to the text label. What I am trying to do with this is to get it the same size as the button so that they look exactly the same. Actually, you could probably just duplicate the button and in the script set active to false. That will work also. Guys, that completes this tutorial. While it's just a GUI, we didn't really do any scripting today. But don't worry, we will make up for that in the next video, when I show you how to script this Rebirth system for your clicking game. This is the God of Coding at Epic Blockstuff signing off. See you in the next one.